going on, everyone? I'm Heath.
And I'm Jay.
You're listening to Host of Horrors, show where we discuss and review horror films based off predetermined themes of the month. Jay.
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen this film, and I think I have, but I don't think I have. So we're just gonna say that we haven't seen this one.
Okay.
So yeah, never. I feel like this would have scared me shitless as a kid. Like, not even gonna lie.
It did me. I remember watching this on VHS.
Imagine that shit. So fucking meta.
Right?
My God. I just feel like this movie shouldn't have been made on VHS tapes ever. You're just like, no.
No, I clearly remember watching this on VHS.
God, and the trauma that comes from that shit. Like, I just wouldn't know what to do. I would just be like, well, I'm dead. I am deceased. I am dead. I am deceased. I am just gone.
Yeah, so this week we are capping off Cursed Objects Month with 2002's Gore Verbinski's The Ring.
God, I want to say it at the same time, but Gore Verbinski? Verbinski. Is he like European?
I don't know.
That's a very European sounding name. Very European sounding. So I'm like, man, what else has he done?
He was a punk rock guitarist as a teenager.
That explains a good little bit about... See, with a name like Gore Verbinski, I feel like you should have been somewhere in the punk sphere.
He's American.
American?
He was born Gregor Verbinski in 1964 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Wow.
Anyway, this movie was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love The Ring.
That was one of his most well-known efforts, right?
I mean, so he's got a weird little backlog. So Gore Verbinski has done a bunch of fucking movies. He did Mouse Race, which I love. It's not a great movie, but I love it. I have nostalgia for it as a kid. Following that, he did The Ring, and then following that, just a year later, he did Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Okay. And then he did the 2 sequels following it.
How did you go from Mouse Hunt to The Ring?
To Disney.
Yeah. Okay, so I can tell by his style already, based on the fact that he made these Bad Religion music videos back in the 90s. So I'm like, oh, this is where we're going with it. But he seems very versatile. Almost as if he is like director for hire in a way. To where he can basically be very versatile in his directorial style.
At the same time, though, if you watch all these films, like, because he also did The Lone Ranger and Rango, if you watch all these films, they all scream his style. Like, you watch them and they all feel similar. Like, they could be all in the same universe.
It feels like he had the thing for Westerns.
Not necessarily. He's only done one Western, and Rango. Rango was a Western.
Rango and looks like
Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger and this other one. This is the other one that's called The Mexican. It's kind of a Western, but it's more of like an adventure kind of thing. But it has Western elements. But
still, though, that's 3 movies out of his. He's done 2 horror movies, 3 Westerns, and 3 pirate movies.
And a comedy.
And a comedy. So
like, he's done a good little bit. So like, I respect someone who's very versatile. Like, who's very versatile, but still has a style, if that makes sense.
And to take something that is so uniquely J-horror and Americanize it while also staying true to its roots, that's fucking impressive.
Take notes, early 2000s anime people. Not everything has to be a fucking jelly donut. Leave it as onigiri as it is. That's why 4Kids doesn't exist anymore. I'm sorry, I'm still bitter about that.
Yeah, no, I am too. Sanji, instead of smoking a cigarette, Sanji had a lollipop.
He was smoking
that's some bullshit.
Smoking on some candy.
Yeah, he had a lollipop.
And instead of guns, they were pointing their fingers.
They were water pistols.
The water pistols that are pointing their fingers.
That was Yu-Gi-Oh! That was Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they pointed fingers. But no, fucking One Piece, they had water pistols.
Oh my God. they 4Kids was trying. But man, so it just goes to show how versatile Gore Verbinski is. And Well, let's talk about it. Like The Ring, of course, is based off of J horror. I'm actually kind of like the grunge, so I like Ju-on. So that's kind of like if it becomes like scary, like horror, like that. That's why I like. I don't know why I like Ju-on so much. I think it's because of my sister, but that's kind of why I like The Grudge. I liked all of that stuff. It wasn't. I guess it wasn't scary, but I think because I understood what the movie is all about. So
No, this movie isn't like scary as far as like jump scares, but you want to talk about some tension throughout the entire film. Like from the opening onwards, it just you feel this uneasiness to this movie, and it atmospheric horror out the fucking ass. I mean, everything, you literally feel the temperature of Seattle watching this movie. Everything feels cold and wet and damp.
I feel like they did the perfect thing by placing it in Seattle, which is one of the most rainiest cities in the whole, in America.
Well, not only that, but you have a huge metropolis of Seattle, and like you drive 3 miles to the west, and it's untamed wilderness. So beautiful shots in this movie. Cinematography was A1 in this movie as well.
Oh yeah, no.
Cinematography and the composition, the music in this film,
It was very cleverly like placed. Like everything felt so purposeful.
Yeah.
Like especially from the certain scenes with, oh my god, what was her name?
Rachel.
With everything with Rachel.
Naomi Watts.
Looking
fucking amazing.
Keep it in your pants.
I'm just saying, she looked so good.
So one of my scenes that really stuck out to me from a cinematic standpoint was whenever she first watched the tape. When she first watched the tape and all of everything just kind of turned red
because the sun set on tree.
On that tree at the same time during on sunset, and it just like everything just became blood red after she started watching it. And I was like, bro, like way to foreshadow a lot. Man, that was crazy. I really liked that one a lot.
Oh yeah, and to take the whole high school urban legend route that they did to begin with, so well done, because it starts out like this hoax, a scary story you tell to your friends, just to freak them out a little bit. But Naomi Watts' character Rachel finds out that actually 4 kids that had watched this tape a week later all died at the same time.
Including her cousin. Was it her cousin?
It was her niece.
Including her niece.
It was her sister's daughter.
Including her niece, which her son was very close with.
Aiden.
And man, that boy is well beyond his years. And
that was a freaky little child.
Yeah, but it's not like in the Hereditary style.
No,
or
just
like Babadook style. It was just like he was like his like just vast amounts of like inherent intelligence, which according to this actor doesn't surprise me, because considering this dude graduated at I got admitted to UCLA and graduated and went to Harvard Law School at 18. So I'm like, and now he's a freaking attorney working for the U.S. government.
Yeah, I would trust that child with my taxes. As a child, I don't even care what he's doing now. Just from his performance in The Ring, I would trust him with my taxes.
He gives me CPA vibes. He looks like
he looks like if he was the hall monitor, he would take it way too seriously.
No, you're right. He looks like he's the kind of kid who actually asks about homework every night, and all the kids hate him because of it.
He looks like he has a better credit score than I do at that age.
Yeah, we don't talk about credit scores in this house. I don't want to talk about credit scores right now. Dude, though, like, just everybody in this film, everybody in this film was well acted. And I'm like, this is how you do an actual like blockbuster kind of movie. Because fuck whatever the fuck last week was.
Hey, you leave Evil Bong out of this.
You're right. Evil Bong has a special place.
It has its fans.
It has a special place.
Oh, but this movie is so fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
And it has one of my favorite underrated actors, Martin Henderson.
You talking about Noah?
Noah.
So,
I've always liked him.
He gives me, like, he was, like, the stereotypical, like, 2000s, like, he had that 2000s look.
Yeah, he had, like, that feathered hair cut going on and everything. But I've always liked him, though. Like, he's been in quite a few good movies. Like, he was in Torque. I'm sorry. Torque. That motorcycle movie.
Oh, God. Tell me that one where he had to, like, basically, like, keep himself, like, charged or some shit?
No, you're thinking of Crank.
Oh, okay.
No, Torque is the motorcycle movie with Ice Cube.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
It's I think you're talking about Cranked.
It's bad.
Cranked was fun.
Crank was stupid.
It was so stupid, but it was
so
like
fucking stupid.
But it was like a roller coaster.
But he's been in a lot of. He was in Smoking Aces. He was in The New Strangers, Everest.
So basically,
just recently he was in X.
Are you dead ass?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to watch X. We need to watch X.
Yeah, he plays Wayne.
So he's part of the main cast.
Mm-hmm.
What? So he's, you know who he gives me? Paul Rudd pre-Marvel. But in a way that he was able to just coast by and like not like necessarily be well known, but be able to keep a check.
Yeah.
And all of that. That's kind of that's kind of what he gives me.
But where Paul Rudd, everyone kind of knew who Paul Rudd is.
By the time, yeah.
I mean, if I said Martin Henderson, you're gonna look at me like, who the fuck
is he?
But he's always, I don't know, every movie he's been in, he has been good. Whether the movie was good or not, he has always been good.
Like I said, he always knows how to keep a check from the sounds of it. And this movie kind of proves the fact that he's able to to handle himself. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I really like this performance. Oh, like even Naomi Watts, who we don't really hear much from, because I sure really haven't really heard much from her like in
recent years, yeah. But everything she's been in, though, she is top notch. A1. She always gives a good performance.
She was always feels like she was always one of those horror girls. Like she was like, if you're like a horror person, that she was like one of the horror girls. Like how Anna Faris was like one of the comedy girls. That's kind of what Naomi Watts.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, she's been in The Ring and Funny Games, but that's really it as far as horror.
I feel like she was on the way.
Shut-In's the other one.
I feel like she was on the way to that though, because of just how well she has done in these horror films prior or leading up to it. You know?
Yeah.
But you don't really hear much from Naomi Watts anymore.
I guess you can.
Honestly,
I guess you can count Mulholland Drive, but I don't really count that as a horror movie.
It's not a horror movie per se, but like it's something.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show like these performances are really strong, and you don't really know anybody who's in it.
Talk about a strong performance, and he's not in it for long whatsoever. Brian fucking Cox delivers again.
Are you talking about
Mr. Morgan, the dad?
That's Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, man. He is like a horror icon, but he just shows up and does work, man.
What else has he done?
He has been in he was in Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh.
He was actually the dad in that movie. He was in Zodiac. He was in, let's see, what other horror movie? Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat. Remember when we watched Trick or Treat? He's the old man. He's the bus driver.
The old man, the bus driver, old man that lasted to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's him?
I mean, dude, he's been in a bunch of fucking movies. He's been in Super Troopers. He was in Red the sequel, of course. He was also in Manhunter, the original Red Dragon.
Oh, not him being in Succession, and he was in X2. He was William Stryker.
Yep.
Ah! Oh my god.
Fucking Brian Cox is a goddamn legend.
Oh, and he's in the newest that Blade Runner series too.
Mm.
Oh wow, he's shit.
No,
talk about fucking what they call it? Talk about fucking keeping a check,
right? But no, you gotta agree with me. All the ones that you know he's been in, that motherfucker delivers.
Oh no, that motherfucker can act. And that was a good, stellar performance.
And I mean, barely in it. Like he had maybe 10 minutes of screen time
all together,
and he fucking killed it.
Mm-hmm. But shit. But okay, I really want to talk about it because like I just want to talk about it. At first I was like, okay, mystery, whatever. But the fact that this went from just like a high school horror, like a high school little horror story, which is typical of most J horror, that's how shit starts usually, to a blown mystery. That's the part I feel like kept me going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it was boring or anything at all. Not at all. I like the pacing of it, but it's just like the mystery of this film was the driving force of me keeping my interest in this film, because I will sit on my seat like, this is some real fucked up shit. But like when you like when she was deciphering all of the images because of that reporter noisiness, that fuck around and find out shit. The fact that like she gave it her all and was like trying to like basically have the scoop of the century like in her hands, man, that is absolutely fucking insane with like how much dedication someone has into like basically fucking around and finding out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like a white person.
Just like a white person. She fucked around, she found out, and she survived. That's all that matters.
The fact that she and her son survived.
Yeah.
And there's the fact that it just makes you wonder like how did she survive? But like the people that helped her didn't.
Because
like that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, so it's basically Samara wants her story to be told, her message to be told, wants her what she sees to be shared. That's what Rachel did. She saw the tape, made a copy of that tape, and then showed the copy to Noah. So that final line that Aiden says when he's like, what's going to happen to the person we show this to? That's what happened. It's literally like basically a sacrifice. You have to, not only watch the tape to appreciate the art form, you then have to make a copy of said art form and then show someone a copy of that art form. But then that person's going to die. Unless the cycle keeps going. But if the cycle keeps going, then you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of this tape.
So, oh my God. So, oh my God. So, it's basically as long as you keep on basically making copies of the tape and keep showing people? It's like, do you have to show people? Or do you have,
it's implied that you have to show people. Because Rachel showed Noah. And she was fine.
I don't think she really showed Noah.
She did.
The tape?
Yes.
Oh, Noah. I was like to my Aiden.
No, Aiden saw it on his own. That's why she freaked the fuck out. But so Rachel made a copy and then showed Noah that copy. Aiden, the very last line he says is, what's going to happen to the person we show this to? Indicating that it's either going to be a vicious cycle of constantly making copies of this fucking tape until there's hundreds of copies just to save people, or do you sacrifice one life and then get rid of him? Like, get rid of all the copies.
So Noah was that sacrifice?
No, Noah was not the sacrifice. Whoever they're going to show the tape to will be the sacrifice. If they decide to sacrifice. Or are they just going to have hundreds of these tapes out there? And if you have hundreds of these tapes, then that's easier for it to get distributed further than just Seattle.
Oh my God. So it's like, instead of just it being like an urban legend with honestly no, you know what? You're right. Because she, was unjustly murdered by her mother. By her mother, who basically was not supposed to have her in the first place, but...
It was like an adoption process kind of thing, because the mom kept trying to have a child, but kept getting miscarriages. And then one day, the mom and the dad left and came back with Samara. And even the doctor of Samara said, yeah, the person they got Samara from basically said that her mother died of unknown circumstances. So you kind of like get this vibe of, oh, something's fucked up with Samara.
Something's fucked up with Samara, and it feels like Anne Morgan, it was all like, yeah, no, I don't want to fuck with that. So she unjustly, I don't know about unjustly.
Well,
like either way, she's killed.
It's definitely not unjustly because there's something fucked up with Samara. I mean, all the horses died. Like even the doctors said, yeah, no, this island got a lot better when Samara left.
That's crazy. And it's like, it doesn't make you wonder, is she like an embodiment of evil? Or like all of it? Like, it kind of makes you wonder, is like, is Samara that?
Well, I mean, it may not even be like an embodiment of evil. Maybe she just has powers. But of course, you see someone or you have someone with powers in the real world, you're gonna start looking at that strange. I mean, you see someone with like Superman powers, you're not gonna sit there and go, "Oh, cool, that kid's gonna be Superman in the future." You're gonna be like, "Oh shit, he could destroy the world."
But it's always like looking at the negative aspects of it.
That's humanity, man.
As humanity, we always look at the worst. But with Samara, it feels like she only wants to look at the worst, or that's how they see it.
They only wanted to look at the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I would think, because Samara in a whole, I don't think there was a whole lot wrong with her. I think, well, I can't even say that because you don't get the full story. Just all of a sudden she shows up and horses start dying. Like, when did that start happening? Was it after the parents kind of mistreated her? Because, I mean, they fucking... Honestly, it may be because the parents mistreated her. Because she hated the horses. And because they forced her to live in the fucking barn. In that creepy-ass dollhouse thing.
But it makes you wonder, why did they make her live in a creepy dollhouse? Maybe... You think maybe it's because they made her, like, saying it was because, like, she wasn't supposed to exist anyway? Like, as their, child?
Yeah, the dad kept saying the mom's, Anne, whatever her name, Anne, I think was her name, wasn't supposed to have a child.
Yeah, wasn't supposed to have a child. And saying that he never had a daughter. Like, he said he never had a daughter.
But was he saying that after Samara turned out to be the reasoning behind all the freaky shit? Like, that's the weird thing, is you have to sit there and go, okay, did Samara do all these things because she was mistreated, or was she mistreated because she was doing things like this?
And who the fuck knows?
Was it the chicken or the egg?
That's it. That's part of it. And it makes me really respect the lengths people will go, to uncovering the scoop. Because it's like, I almost felt like for a second that she probably was going too far because of how personally linked to all of this she became.
Mm-hmm.
And granted that, she basically broke the cycle and then kind of started again. But the scene from her coming out from the TV, just fucking iconic in either Japanese or American cinemas. That last scene was fucking Noah. Epic. I felt bad for Noah because he did nothing wrong.
No, especially because like you don't get like a lot of in-your-face horror in this movie. Anything, like even the gore is like split second. Like, it's there and then it's gone. It's enough to burn. That's enough to burn an image into your brain, but not enough for you to sit there and, like, critique it. That's perfect. But, like, for them to not show hardly any real horror in this movie, to fucking end it on that was just beautiful.
Not even gonna lie, I was not expecting them to end it on that.
Especially because you sit there and you think the day's won. Like, they
beat it. Like, everything returns to normal.
But then they keep going. And that uneasiness throughout. So this movie's so good about putting you on the edge of your seat. Mm-hmm. So, like, you think day's won, and she's like, I just want to go home. Okay, movie's over. No. They go pick up Aiden. Okay.
I thought Aiden was dead.
And then, yeah, Aiden looked dead.
I was like, oh no.
But then he's fine.
He's fine. He's okay.
They take him to the car and they hold hands and it's a cute moment. And then they keep going. And then Noah and Rachel have a little moment. And then the show keeps going. And then she's like taking a shower and cleaning all the grime off of her. And then going to sleep in Aiden's room. And then they have a cute little conversation. You're like, okay, movie, You done should have rolled the credits about 3 to 5 minutes ago. What are you doing?
And then it's like, what do you mean you weren't supposed to help?
And then you cut to Noah.
What do you mean you weren't supposed to help her? And that part like got me. I was like, what you mean? Like that part still rings in my head. What do you mean you're not supposed to help her?
Don't you know, Jay? She doesn't sleep. And his fucking nose just started bleeding.
Oh my God.
And you cut to Noah and that fucking TV turns on.
I felt so bad because I was like, Noah tried his best to help. Even though he didn't believe her until like after he became part of it.
Well, no, so he didn't even believe her then. He thought she was just being fucking crazy and there was something fucked up with her camera. It wasn't until, because he's the camera guy. Like he knows how he knows how video and audio works. And he's getting cigarettes and some groceries at a convenience store, and he looks up at footage of surveillance tape that he's in. Everything else looks normal, but his face is all woppy.
His face is obscured, yeah.
And he knows that is not possible.
Man.
And that's when he's like, you know what? Because he's like, that freaked him out enough that he took 100 pictures because his fucking car seat was piled full of Polaroids.
Man, he was like, why is this happening? And then, that caused it. That was the thing. Man, there were so many things that are uncovered by this movie. And it kind of makes you wonder, is like, was there a difference between this and the first Japanese Ringu? Yeah. Or was this like the same story just told in an American way?
No, it's very different. It's a lot different, but it pays respect. Like it's a very Americanized version because Ringu's more mystique. You never really get a full backstory, at least in the first one. You don't really get a full backstory of where the tape came from and how it came to be, and that's more J-horror.
That is J-horror.
Shit just fucking happens. Where American horror is, you have to understand the fucked up circumstances for why this is happening. That's our whole horror is understanding why people will do things to make certain things happen, or why someone would succumb to certain things. You know, it's not enough that Jason Voorhees is just an unstoppable killing machine. You have to know his backstory. Same thing with Freddy. You have to know his backstory. So no, it's a lot different. But at the same time, though, it's so similar, it hurts.
At least it pays respects in a decent way, unlike, some Japan to America.
Oh, Shudder's the worst. That's not Japan, that's Taiwanese, but Shudder is the worst.
It just goes to show, because I know, at least with like stuff like Parasite, like in the current trend of like Korean cinema and Japanese cinema, kind of coming back in the forefront of American audiences. Like, there's a story with Bong Joon-ho and Harvey Weinstein made a motherfucker rot in hell. I mean, he's not dead, but whatever, he's in jail. But there's a story about, his one of his movies that got cut. Basically, like, his movie got the shit end of the stick. Snowpiercer. Because of the fact that Harvey Weinstein wanted to cut so many things, and Bong Joon-ho was like, fuck that shit. And then basically Harvey Weinstein just sabotaged the film, if I remember correctly, and basically made it a flop.
Yeah, because I'm going to be perfectly honest, when you watch his filmography, Snowpiercer is the one thing that stands out.
Like in a
bad way. Because when you look at his filmography, every single thing that he has done is great.
Is art. Even with Okja, as like divisive that movie is.
I still love Okja.
Oh my god. Did I tell you that I was in Seoul whenever Okja came out and how popular that was?
No, fuck you.
It was very popular.
Anyway, no.
But yo, it was so... It just is so much that like, people just fucked shit up. And then you see you just see how people like to Americanize everything. It's the fact that, was it Park Chan-wook? Was it Park Chan-wook that did Oh Boy? And then Spike Lee did it. And I felt bad for Spike Lee because it's like, it felt like there wasn't really much that he was able to have control over. And the fact that it was almost like Oh Boy, the American version was DOA. because of like the meddling behind
and see,
everything that Spike Lee was stood for at the time. Like,
it's just weird because you sit there and you go, okay, foreign films should not be Americanized whatsoever when you hear of things like Old Boy and films like that. But then you get The Ring and The Grudge and there's another one I can't think of right now. But it's just that, Let the Right One In.
mm-hmm.
You get films like that and you're like, oh, I can see how Americanizing something or having something adapted to an American audience can fucking work.
And it works.
What are you doing?
It just goes to show how either how little care or how much care someone puts into a product.
Yeah.
That's kind of also why I felt bad about the whole Cowboy Bebop revival. Well, the Cowboy Bebop, the live action version, because when I actually watched it, girl, it was kind of campy, and I kind of liked the fact that it was campy but even though it's not as revered as its original, I still felt like there are elements of the live action Cowboy Bebop that made it stand out and made it different enough from the original source material that both could stand on its own, one without the other. But a lot of people just didn't like it. I get it, but that's just how I feel about it.
I didn't like it. What did you think of Death Note?
We don't talk about that. That goes on the they don't give a fuck kind of thing.
Yeah,
I did not like it.
That was fucking garbage.
I did not like it.
What was up with L? Did they even watch the fucking show? Okay,
that was not a good adaptation. That was just not a good adaptation at all.
I'm really sad because the same people that brought those are bringing the live action One Piece.
But Oda is actually involved heavily.
Yeah, he was also heavily involved with a lot of the movies. And we're not going to talk about them.
Are you talking about, like, Gold and Red?
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't know about Red. I am excited to see Red.
I was like, you didn't like Gold? Because I like Gold.
Gold's good. Gold is good. But Stampede? Stampede was like almost an hour-long fight scene.
Not all of his stuff has to be good.
Well, he had nothing to do with it. He was just like, yeah, it's good. At least with Red, he wrote it. So, like... I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that was...
But yeah, he's heavily involved with all of it. Like, he supports the anime, and everyone knows how bad the anime is.
Chile. It's a lot. It is a lot that goes into it.
We went into a fucking tangent. Back to the movie.
I do feel like talking about all of that, it goes back to it, because The Ring is one of... I'm not going to say the early examples, but it goes to show post-anime boom how people were taking so much of Japanese media and were trying to Americanize it.
Well, it
goes into that.
When you think about the era that this is in that beautiful era of when Hollywood was coming out with shit horror movies and Japan was fucking killing it.
And exactly that.
This is the era where J-horror was popping.
Mm-hmm. And with that, of course, America was going to be like, okay, I guess we're not doing it. So let us, try to find something and go on from there. Find something and try to make it our own and go on from there. And so all of that we talked about earlier with anime and shit, it's the same fucking shit. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah, we're just recycling now. We just went from J-horror to anime.
Mm-hmm. But it just goes to show how much when people actually give a shit and actually do their research or try to make a good product out of elements of their source material to be able to make something original-ish, but takes elements from that source material, but to be able to make something of their own. That's what this movie did. That's what that film did, and it did a bomb-ass job of doing it.
Oh, no,
it did an amazing, amazing, perfect job of doing that. So everything... And like I said, my favorite part is the mystery of uncovering everything. There's I felt on the edge of my seat with every time a new clue was being brought into the picture. I was like, oh my God, their detective skills, her detective skills in particular, popping.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I mean, even him, even Noah
Noah
with his whole, yeah, I mean, come on, guys, let me see the records. We can't let you see the records. I've seen them before. I know they're upstairs. Good luck, or nice try, asshole. We know nice try, asshole. They're downstairs. Oh, okay. Fucking asshole. He just goes downstairs. Like, come on, that's good
That
shit
is
right
genius. That's like the Batman level of like critical thinking. It's like have to be placed 3 steps ahead in order to be able to get to where you gotta go. That's really cool.
But what I also loved about it is instead of doing the whole, the audience can figure it out before the characters can, that kind of pisses me off a little bit in movies. I love the fact that we were giving information while the characters were.
And then there was a certain point where I figured it out, at kind of sort of, but then my expectations went just out the window. That next scene,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like it's like as soon as you think you know it, it's just no.
And
It's something completely different.
And it kind of goes from Samara being almost an antagonist to almost like helping, like trying to guide Rachel along the way.
But she wasn't at the same time.
It wasn't. He's like, oh yeah, no, you bitch, you're gonna die. But at the same time, it feels like Samara knew that, like, felt like, oh yeah, this is gonna get my story out.
No,
I don't know. I just felt what it felt like with the last scene. With the well. That I love that so much.
Yeah, that was a beautiful scene.
That whole
at the same time, she would have died. She literally, unless she accidentally did what she did and didn't even realize she did it in the first place, she would have died.
Yeah, no, I thought she was dead. I dead ass thought she was dead.
Oh yeah, no. When I saw the hair in the water the first time, I was like, oh yeah, that bitch dead. She gonna get got. Noah fucking around outside with a water hose, and she's gonna be down there drowning in a well.
Yeah, and from drowning in a well to basically finding oh god,
what's with Japan and long hair?
That's
why is that scary? But like, no. Here's the thing: why is that considered scary? But at the same time, why is that also fucking terrifying? Long black hair is terrifying for some reason, and I can't subconsciously think why that is.
I do think that it kind of goes with like Japanese like standards of not only beauty but just tradition, and neither of us are really like privy to that. At least not that much.
But that's Japan, though.
Mm-hmm.
Why me, a white boy in America, finding wet black hair terrifying?
Because I don't know, like wet black hair equals the devil.
Does it though?
It shouldn't. It's just like the fact that like whenever you see like, I feel like whenever you see like just black hair and like long black hair like that, I think because of the ring, it managed to take like a whole new.
It's
meaning.
Not just the ring; it's also the Grudge. It's the ring.
Literally,
the Grudge.
We just talked about that.
No,
they're the same fucking thing.
They're not the same fucking thing.
No, I meant that as in we were talking about the ring and the Grudge being, the same thing as in America trying to Americanize Japanese horror.
But
and they both feature bitches with fucking long black hair.
And I'm wondering why that's scary.
It just is.
I want to know why. I just want to know why it is.
I can't even tell you. It's just, you would think that it'd be the same vein as like, red hair being, considered like with blood. It'd be like, if once you see somebody with red hair, just like, oh, I'm about to die. But I don't know.
You don't think that though.
You don't think that.
But you see a bitch with like long, straight black hair and I don't know.
Either someone's going to think it's hot or they want to run away. Like,
speaking of hot, Abby was in this movie.
Yeah,
Abby from NCIS fucking blew my goddamn mind watching. I didn't notice it at first. Jay's just like, oh, I'm like, what the fuck? And I went, oh,
no, because every time, every person that I feel like who's seen NCIS loves Abby. Oh, yeah. Like, loves the golf girl. Like
Abby and Ziva, dude.
Like that's it. And I was like, oh, that's her. And this is around. Considering I think this is right before NCIS debuted as a show. I think that
I have no idea.
I used to watch NCIS a lot, so I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah,
sure.
no, my mom has like every fucking season, so trust me, yeah, we used to watch it a lot too.
So yeah, so I was like, bruh, that's Abby. And I doesn't make me watch. I was like, I don't really see her in like movie roles.
No,
But
it's probably
this-
because she makes enough bank on NCIS.
she doesn't have to.
I mean, honestly, you got a show that's constantly being reran, and they have what, like 10 seasons?
and it's the longevity. Like, I'm pretty sure there's people from the first season that still worked on there to this day.
Yeah.
So I mean, shit, it works. There's just so many good things about this film. I really do like the mystery and the fact that the cycle continues. I also kind of hate the fact that it doesn't. That the second movie sucks.
No, it'd be a good idea to do. Make a sequel to The Ring, but make it like in, I don't know, 2008, when like the internet was kind of in its weird like 4chan phase.
Oh no!
And make The Ring like that weird video that you just stumble across.
No. That's what we're not doing. We're not turning Sadako into a meme.
No, I'm not saying a meme. Okay, you don't ever remember back in the day when like you were a kid and your friend was like, "Yo, I was just on the internet fucking around and I found this video of a guy getting executed." You know that was a thing.
I know that. I know that was a thing.
Imagine that.
Worst.
Imagine that, but with this video, with from The Ring, the video from The Ring.
Oh my!
That's a good idea.
That is I hate how good of an idea that is. That is such a great idea. Plus, it's also like having that shit spread like wildfire, and instead of that means the cycle will be perpetual because if you put something on the internet, 9 times out of 10 is gonna last forever. So it's like as the so many like copies of videos, re-uploads of videos that people make, like Samara's story will be told over and over and over and over again, because especially now, the more that we are entrenched in social media culture, even with shit being so sensationalized, oh yeah, you see something like that, and then of course there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, yeah, no, we don't need to share that, but there's gonna be people who be sharing that video no matter what, and there's gonna be people who be dying left and right.
Yeah.
Until you know what? Have you ever thought of that about that, but taking place in 2020 or like somewhere in around this time, where it's like people can like share videos just like that?
See,
then with autoplay being a thing, it's like you have to like keep yourself away from watching it.
But like the only problem I have with doing it nowadays is because of the accessibility it would have. Anyone, anywhere would be able to watch this video. It'd be fucking headline news, you know? Oh, check out the new weird video. Where back in 2008, you could stumble upon a video like this.
What about
never be told about it? It exists. It could still be an urban legend.
What about it being on YouTube? Like the very first iteration of YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. Again, 2008.
Well, I'm talking about like back when YouTube very first started. Like,
well, I mean, that's fine, but still, around 2006 to 2008, anywhere around there. If you do it too soon or too close to the present, it becomes too accessible. And it's not. It doesn't have that horror factor to it. It doesn't have that scare to it.
Because it's just there.
Yeah, I mean, it could be an urban legend, but unless you're really looking for it, you're not going to find it, or you could accidentally stumble on it.
Oh my god! And then what if like there's a thing where, especially with 4chan being as big as it was back then, what if like all of it gets led back to like a 4chan thread, or like a single 4chan thread that no matter how much it gets deleted, it always stays, it never leaves. And you kind of go on from there. Oh my god, Heath! That's the story right there.
Hollywood, if you steal this from me, I swear to God!
Fuck.
Alright, well, we need to start writing right now, because...
literally right now. We gotta get this registered next week.
But yeah, what did you think of The Ring, and honestly, what would you rate it?
Overall, I really thought it was very cleverly placed, and it made me realize I'm kind of a bitch for mystery. Like, this movie, like, there's no like scares or anything, so there's like scares, but it was just the fact that like I felt so entrenched in the story of it all, and just the mystery being uncovered as we were watching, and I really did like that. I love the performances; they're very strong. There were just so many great things about this film, and I feel like the few negatives I can probably come up with it are just very like minor nitpicks about, it's Seattle. Considering it's Seattle, it doesn't surprise me.
Well, I thought that was going to be a negative.
No,
you said one of the negatives. It's Seattle.
No, I used to hate Seattle, but I love Seattle now. Now that I actually went there, but it's just the fact that there wasn't really much diversity shown in Seattle. But then I realized, girl, this is Seattle. There's like 7% black. It was 7%. It's even 7 or 8% black in fucking 2021. So
I was about to say, for 2002 Hollywood horror, and they had like two prominent black people, like not main characters, but like the teacher had a good scene, and then homeboy that was the clerk for the videotape. He had a good scene. I thought
that
he was
a
funny.
Good scene.
He was fucking hilarious.
It was a good scene, but it was just like drip drops.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's 2002 Hollywood.
2002 Hollywood and in Seattle. But other than that, I can't really think of anything really negative to say about this film. Like, I can't really think of any plot holes, any kind of just things that brought it down for me. So, I'm going to give it a solid... Oh, fuck, I don't know. I don't want to be like, oh my god, give it a solid 5, but it's a very close... It was very close to a perfect movie for me, which is wild.
That sounds like a 5 to me.
What'd you think?
I'm giving it a 5. I fucking love this movie.
I think, considering it's as an adaptation of Japanese material, I think this one does invoke a lot of care for the source material, but also like enough like cojones to be able to try something different and to make something different and have it actually work.
Mm-hmm.
And just having Naomi Watts around is pretty cool too.
So. Yeah. So I give it a 5, and I'm assuming you're giving it a 5?
I'll give it a 5.
Cool. So yeah, that caps off Cursed Objects Month. We're already done.
Wow.
We're already done.
Crazy. This everything felt so short this month.
Yeah. I mean, we did skip a week.
By accident.
So
it wasn't our fault.
No, it was our fault, but we got busy.
It was our fault, but we were busy. We had things to do.
So, as we do every month, how would you rank the 4 films we watched this month? How would you rank our Cursed Objects movies?
My God. Okay, so...
For a reminder, we have seen Oculus, Hellraiser, Evil Bong, and just now we finished The Ring.
Wow, it feels like feels very short.
Yeah. Well, considering last month was 5 with a female director month.
Did we watch 4 for February?
Yeah. 4 for February and 4 for January.
Well, I guess in this case, I will basically kind of throw it out there. So, Evil Bong last. Only because it's just like, I hated that movie, but I found some charm out of it. For 3, Hellraiser, because it was just a lot of nonsense. There's a lot of nonsensical stuff that, okay, it was giving camp, but I was like, this is nonsense. Also, I wish Pinhead got more love. Oculus. Oculus is gonna be my second, and The Ring my first.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how I feel. So, yeah.
All right. Divisivity time. Hellraiser is at the bottom.
Oh, I knew that.
I don't like Hellraiser. And Evil Bong only etches it out because I honestly think I would rewatch Evil Bong.
When you're high?
I probably. Like, if a guy comes up, if someone comes up to me and was like, hey, you want to watch Hellraiser? I would think about it. Hey, you want to watch Evil Bong? Yeah, why not?
Okay. That makes sense.
I mean, they're literally that close together. I had to think of it that way.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, yeah. And then Oculus followed by The Ring. The Ring is so good.
It feels like
Oculus and The Ring, though, are very close.
Yeah.
Like, I think if Oculus... I don't know.
I think Oculus...
The Ring just kind of edges it out just a little bit.
When it comes... They'll both be a number one for me, if I want to be real. Because I really did like Oculus, mostly because it made me feel things.
Yeah.
It made me feel a lot more than I thought. Like,
you did cry on my couch.
I did actually cry. But I feel like with The Ring, I like the mystery a little bit more.
Yeah.
The mystery kind of edged it out. And I think that was what made it work for me. So, what about you?
I mean, that's mine. Hellraiser, Evil Bong, Oculus, and then The Ring. I just really, really like Oculus.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that edged out all of fucking Cursed Objects Month.
We're moving on to a new month.
We're going to be in May. So close, so quickly, too. So, I think May is...
So we are going to do something a little different. So I love Universal Monsters. I fucking love them.
So will you give an explanation of Universal Monsters for the ones who don't really know?
Universal Monsters, essentially, from 1933, I want to say. Yeah, 1933 on up to the 50s. Universal did a bunch of monster movies, and the iconic ones everyone thinks about, everyone knows and love, is you got Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Invisible Man. And I'm gonna be honest, my personal favorite has always been the Invisible Man. I don't know why. You would think, all the other ones would be cooler and everything, but the Invisible Man has always been my fucking favorite. So, what we're gonna do for the years going forward is once a month, every year, we're going to pick a different Universal monster and just kind of look at his back catalog of films. And we are starting next month with the Invisible Man. And the first film is the 1933 James Whale-directed The Invisible Man.
Oh, his name... I'm sorry. It's just the name of the director is James Whale.
Yeah.
And The Invisible Man is based off of H.G. Wells.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like...
Well, James Whale also did Bride of Frankenstein.
Another Universal classic?
Yep.
So, but this is also back in the day where the studio system was still in play, to where people like stars, directors, and whatnot were tied to a studio. Basically, how you have people that are set to a label, like a music label now, and they're part of that. They're just part of that. They are only work within that realm. Yeah. So take that with what you will.
And watching the fucking behind the scenes documentary on how they actually made this possible is just astonishing. I mean, to actually make someone invisible back in 1933 and it work. Oh, so cool watching that.
Oh no.
So cool watching how they made that happen.
Honestly, early cinema is just nothing but innovation after innovation after experiment after experiment. And we have to respect cinema for being able to coincide with technology in such a way where we always have to respect where we came from. Mm-hmm. We have to respect where it came from when it comes to narrative, when it comes to how technology is used in films, how technology is used to shoot said films, to make the special effects, to make people entertained. We have to respect that, even though D.W. Griffith can go choke on a hole. No, fuck that nigga. Like, but anyway,
thank you so much for joining us this month. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you'll enjoy next month as well as we look into all the movies that contain the Invisible Man.
And I'm excited for it because my only real watching for as a viewer kind of thing, and not as a student, is the latest one.
Oh, with Elizabeth Moss?
Uh-huh.
That one's really good.
So I am excited to see the origins of the Invisible Man and see how everything goes from here. I'm excited for our first series themed.
Yeah.
Like, series specific theme.
Yeah, like I said, we're gonna do a thing where like once a month, every year, we'll pick a different Universal monster.
I'm excited.
So, but yeah, so that's next month. Again, thank you so much for joining us this month. Thank you again for watching us. If you like what you see, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification, comment down below, let us know what you thought of The Ring, and check out our playlist. Hit us up on social medias, including Facebook, Twitter, and all that good shit. And
also, don't forget to update the letterbox.
Yeah, no, I got it. Motherfucker, you forgot to post on Facebook, and I had to do that twice.
Yeah, because I was working overtime. Yeah, 12-hour shifts every single day.
I've been updating the letterbox. When did I not update it?
I don't know. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. Join us next week. Watch The Invisible Man, 1933, directed by James Whales. It's great. It's really good. It's good just to watch and see how the fuck they did something like that in 1933.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, it's so good. But until next time, I have been Heath.
And I have been Jay.
And you have been listening to
Host of Horrors.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.